Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bajirao Ias Academy. We have been discussing case studies which have been asked in 2025 mains examination. And today we have some more important case studies. So let's discuss all these case studies. Let's understand different dimensions which are given in this case study. What are the stakeholders? Who are the stakeholders? And what are the ethical issues, ethical dilemmas involved, and how to answer the questions which are given along with this case study. So this case study says that Rajesh is a Group 1 officer with 9 years of service. He is posted as administrative officer in an oil public sector undertaking. As an administrative officer, he is responsible for managing and coordinating various administrative tasks to ensure smooth functioning of office. He also manages office supplies, equipment, etc. Rajesh is now senior and is expecting his next promotion in JAG, which means Junior Administrative Grade, in the next 1 or 2 years. He knows that promotion is based on examination of annual performance reports or performance appraisal. However, the performance appraisal is considered for last 5 years or so. So therefore, as an officer by Departmental Promotion Committee and an officer lacking requisite grading of ACRs may not be found fit for the promotion. So however, though consequences of losing promotion may also entail a financial and reputational loss and setback for career progression, though he also puts his best efforts in official discharge of his duties, yet he is unsure of assessment by his superior officer. He is now putting in extra efforts so that he gets thumping report at the end of financial year. As administrative officer, Rajesh is regularly interacting with his immediate boss, who is his reporting officer for the writing his ACR. One day, he calls Rajesh and wants him to buy computer-related stationery on priority from a reputed or a particular vendor. Rajesh instructs his office to initiate action for procuring these items. During the day, the dealing assistant brings an estimate of rupees 35 lakh covering all stationery items from the same vendor. However, it is noticed that as per the delegated financial powers as provided in the GFR, as applicable in the organization, expenditure for office items exceeding rupees 30 lakh requires sanction of the next higher authority. Here, boss in the present case. Now, Rajesh knows that immediate superior would expect all these purchases should be done at his level and may not appreciate such lack of initiative on his part. During discussions with office, he learned that common practice of splitting of expenditure, where a large order is divided into a series of smaller ones, is followed to avoid obtaining sanction from higher authority. So this practice is against the rules and may come to the adverse notice of audit. So therefore, it will have an impact on the entire organization and its reputation. Rajesh is perturbed. He is unsure of taking decision in the matter. Now in this case study, some questions are also asked. So it is important for us to address all these questions. First question, what are the options available with Rajesh in the above situation? What are the ethical issues involved in this case? Which would be the most appropriate option for Rajesh and why? These 3 questions you need to address based on the relevant content from the case study. So once you have gone through the case study, in the introduction, you just briefly introduce what is the main issue, key issue in this case study. And it is expected from the public servants that they often face dilemmas, but they need to come out of these dilemmas with objective solutions. And in fact, so public servants, when they face dilemmas, in those dilemmas, the professional integrity often conflicts with the personal interest. And in fact, this case study also shows a clear conflict between personal interest and professional integrity. We all knew that Rajesh is an administrative officer in a reputed public sector undertaking. Now Rajesh is caught between following general financial rules and pleasing his superior. Now in fact, his superior is going to influence Rajesh next promotion because he is going to submit the performance appraisal of Rajesh. So the case tests his adherence to integrity, objectivity, courage of conviction and accountability. And in fact, this case study shows that whether Rajesh would follow the values of integrity, objectivity, courage of conviction and accountability, and in fact all these are important principles of foundational civil services, the values of foundational civil services. So let's understand what are the options available to Rajesh in this context. First, Rajesh can split the purchase order of 35 lakh into smaller ones as ordered by the administrative officer's superior. And in fact, this would enable approval at his level and please his superior, who is going to submit his performance appraisal report, and that is going to influence the promotion of Rajesh. However, it violates GFR provisions. So the GFR provisions, they deal with the general financial rules of an organization. In fact, they prohibit splitting of expenditure to avoid sanction. Though it may ensure a good ACR in the short term, it is illegal and unethical and may invite audit objections or disciplinary action as well. So therefore, it has both positives and negatives. It has both advantages and disadvantages as well. And the second option Rajesh have is forward the full proposal to higher authority as for the general financial rules mandated. Now in this context, Rajesh can consolidate this 35 lakh estimate and send it for approval to the competent authority. So therefore, it ensures the compliance and transparency because it is in compliance with the general financial rules. However, his immediate boss would feel disappointed and this may influence Rajesh promotion as well. The third option Rajesh would have with him is seek clarification or written direction from the superior. And in this option, Rajesh can record his concern in writing or email, politely noting that the order exceeds his delegated powers. So therefore, this protects him from the future accountability and demonstrates professionalism on the part of Rajesh. And in fact, this option looks a more practical option. And the fourth option Rajesh have is consult the finance and vigilance wing. And in fact, in this option, Rajesh may seek the opinion of vigilance wing or finance department to confirm the correct procedure for procurement. So this displays a due diligence on the part of Rajesh, though it may further delay the purchase as well. So these are the four options available to Rajesh. Now let's understand the ethical issues involved in this case, because the ethical issues are also specifically asked in this case study. So in fact, there is an ethical issue because a tussle between integrity and obedience. It is expected that Rajesh should be obedient to his superior officer, and at the same time, as an administrative officer in a public sector undertaking, Rajesh should be an officer of integrity. And in fact, there is a conflict between following rules honestly versus yielding to the superior pressure. Secondly, conflict of interest is clearly visible in this case study, because the personal ambition, the promotion that Rajesh has been expecting very soon, and it is coming in conflict with the public duty, because the appraisal is with the superior of Rajesh. However, if Rajesh is a honest and an officer of integrity, so that will affect his promotion. And rule of law, because the general financial rules are legal safeguards ensuring financial propriety on the part of this organization. So therefore, these general financial rules have to be followed. And then transparency and accountability. Procurement decisions must be open and auditable. Courage of conviction on the part of Rajesh. That means even if it is affecting his promotion, even if it is affecting his appraisal report, the ability of Rajesh to say no to an unethical practice despite a fear of repercussions. And this courage of conviction is very important that Rajesh need to show. So in a 2010 Commonwealth Games audit, several officials faced action for splitting orders to bypass financial limits. And in fact, it has been highlighting the risk of such violations if the officers go for splitting the orders. Now, what is the most appropriate option available to Rajesh? And in fact, as I have already told you, that third option is most practical option. Here, a combination of second and third option is the most appropriate and most practical option available to Rajesh. So here, Rajesh should follow the GFR rules. And in fact, he should forward the 35 lakh proposal for the higher sanction. He should not split the order because it is against the GFR rules. Secondly, Rajesh should politely inform his boss in writing that this ensures compliance and avoids audit objections, because if there is any future audit, that will affect the reputation of entire organization and the careers of these officers as well. Now, in fact, this decision on the part of Rajesh will uphold integrity, objectivity, and it shows professionalism. And in fact, these are fundamental values of civil services ethics. However, on the part of Rajesh superior, it may cause temporary displeasure for him, but it safeguards Rajesh's reputation and the organization's financial propriety, and it will also save their careers as well in the future. And for any organization, the long-term reputation and trust is very important, and it is more valuable than any short-term personal gains. So finally, in conclusion, you just have to mention that Rajesh's dilemma, it mirrors the real life ethical challenges faced by the civil servants, because civil servants face many ethical issues, ethical dilemmas while they deliver their duties. And in fact, civil servant should choose to act lawfully and transparently. And in fact, Rajesh should demonstrate the ethical leadership by following option 3. And in fact, upholding integrity even at personal cost would ultimately strengthen both individuals' character, institutional credibility, and reputation. And in fact, this is considered as a true mark of a responsible civil servant. And in fact, Rajesh should follow the civil servant values, and which is very important than his personal interest, which is promotion. So I hope you have understood this case study. The next case study is about Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, which was earlier known as NG, National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. In fact, this is Indian social welfare program. It aimed at fulfilling the right to work provisions made in the Constitution. MG Narega was launched in the year 2006 under Rural Employment Sector by the Ministry of Rural Development. It provides 100 days of legal guarantee of work for every unskilled rural household who is ready to do manual work. The main objective of the program is to give legal guarantee of wage employment to the adult members of rural households who are willing to do unskilled manual labor work subjected to a maximum of 100 days per year for every household. In fact, every rural household has the right to register under the scheme, and the government will issue a job card to the registered individuals, and job card holder can seek employment with the government, and state government shall pay 25% of minimum wage for the first 30 days as compensatory daily unemployment allowance to the families and of wage for remaining period of the year. In fact, Manrega work was undertaken by various Gram Panchayats so far, and in fact, more than 50% of the beneficiaries of Manrega are women. And you have been appointed as an administrator in charge of a district. You have been given the responsibility of monitoring MG Narega work undertaken by various Gram Panchayats. You are also given the authority to give technical sanctions to all Manrega works. Now, in this context, in one of the panchayats in your jurisdiction, you notice that your predecessors have mismanaged the program in terms of money has not been dispersed to the actual job seekers. Secondly, the muster rolls of various laborers not properly maintained. Third, there is a mismatch between the work done and payments made. Third, payments made to the fictitious persons or goes to beneficiaries. Fifth, job cards were given without looking into the need of the person. Mismanagement of funds and to the extent of siphoning of funds. And approved works that never existed. By looking into this, you have come to the conclusion that corruption and leakage took place in this case. And there are 3 questions which have been given along with this case study, and you need to answer the 3 questions. What is your reaction to the above situation, and how do you restore the proper functioning of MG Narega program in this regard? Because the responsibility has been given to you for monitoring MG Narega in this district. Secondly, what actions would you initiate to solve the various issues listed above? Third, how would you deal with the above situation? So these are the 3 questions that you need to address. First, you need to write the introduction in this answer. Now, we all knew that Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, it has been started in the year 2006. And in fact, the case study itself has mentioned this, and it is a social welfare program because it ensures or it provides right to work and ensures livelihood security for the rural households. As a district administrator, my ethical and administrative duty is to uphold transparency, accountability, justice in its implementation. Because Manrega program mainly deals with or provides livelihood to rural poor. So therefore, justice is also very important. The reported mismanagement violates not only administrative norms, but they also violated moral trust placed by citizens in the government. So this is how you need to briefly describe the case study and the issue which is inherent within the case study. In the first question, you have been asked that what is your reaction to the above situation? And in fact, the findings including fake beneficiaries and lack of muster rolls or false muster rolls and siphoning of funds which are allocated for the Manrega program, all these findings have been indicating that there are serious ethical lapses in the implementation of Manrega program in this district. And apart from that, there are issues like corruption, negligence, and violation of public trust as well. So keeping all the findings in mind, my immediate reaction would be a mix of ethical concern, professional responsibility, and also commitment to corrective action. It is important to maintain credibility and trust of the social welfare program. Since the social welfare program aimed at improvement of the conditions of rural poor or providing them livelihood, so there is a need for ethical concern as well, because genuine beneficiaries were not given work and they were not paid the money as well. And here I need to show professional responsibility as well. So therefore, I would adopt a balanced approach which is based on integrity, objectivity, and public accountability. So therefore, ensuring both wrongdoers are held accountable and genuine beneficiaries are protected, and at the same time, the money which has not been paid to the genuine beneficiaries should be paid as well. And then you need to address the second part of the answer. What actions will be taken to restore proper functioning? First, there is a need for fact-finding and transparency. For this to happen, there is a need to conduct a comprehensive audit of all Manrega accounts in the district. Along with that, a comprehensive audit of muster rolls and work registers. And in fact, for the purpose of comprehensive audit or social audit, we should bring in independent agencies such as NGOs, social audit units, to ensure impartiality. And apart from that, there is a need to suspend ongoing payments until verification is completed or it is done. Then we need to talk about accountability and legal action as well, because several findings have been reported that there is malpractice, siphoning of funds, fake muster rolls, and corruption. So therefore, it is important to identify officials who have been involved in this malpractice. So there is a need to initiate an immediate departmental inquiry against officials who have been involved in this, and if required, file FIRs under the Prevention of Corruption Act. And then we should blacklist the contractors or vendors who are involved in siphoning of funds. Third, we need to bring in systematic reforms including capacity building so that it will prevent corruption, malpractices, and siphoning of funds in the future. So to happen, you need to take the help of technology by introducing biometric attendance, geotagging of Manrega works to eliminate ghost beneficiaries or ghost entries. Secondly, it is also important to mandate online fund transfers directly into the bank accounts of the eligible beneficiaries, which is also known as the direct benefit transfer mode. Since every individual is now having bank account and Aadhaar card, so it is also important to link the bank accounts into the Aadhaar so that the beneficiaries' money can be directly transferred into their bank accounts. Then we should also strengthen Gram Sabha oversight to enhance the community participation as well. So then how do you deal with the situation in an ethical way? And it is also very important as an officer to demonstrate ethical leadership. So by demonstrating ethical leadership, I will uphold probity and impartiality in the investigation into this matter. And apart from that, the whistleblowers, who are very important to find out any issues in existing schemes, so therefore protection of whistleblowers and encouraging a culture of honesty is also very important. And then communicating openly with the villagers to rebuild trust in the governance. So finally, my approach would blend ethical principles, including integrity, fairness, empathy, with the administrative efficiency. So it will help restore faith in the public service. Now finally, in conclusion, you need to mention that any public servant who is considered as a trustee of the public resources. In this case study it is highlighted that there is a mismanagement of Manrega funds. It not only amounts to waste of funds but also betrays the rural poor's faith in the system. So therefore, through transparent audits, accountability measures and ethical leadership, I would strive to restore integrity, ensure justice for genuine beneficiaries, and set an example for the good governance as well. So therefore, it will help fulfill the true spirit of Manrega and Constitution's promise of the social justice as well. So this is how you can write a conclusion in this case study. Anyway, that's all in this. Thank you so much. Please subscribe our YouTube channel and also like a video. And thank you so much.